You've heard James say it a million times. Respect the polygon. At Weather Call, we make the polygon better. We call, text, or email you so you'll always know when you're in danger. No matter who you are, there's a Weather Call solution right for you. Check us out at weathercallservices.com.
Here's your AlabamaWX weather briefing video for this Sunday. It's the 16th of June. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Thanks for everything you do. Lots to talk about on this Father's Day. It's going to be a hot one. A few widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. If you're lucky enough to get under one, you might drop that temperature about 15-20 degrees pretty quickly, but there will be some dangerous lightning and heavy rain also that will come with those cooling effects. Now, I've got my Radar Omega set up tonight, looking at the MRMS, the National Composite Radar, convective watches and warnings shown on the map as well. And interesting weather going on. The northern plains, the western half of North Dakota under severe thunderstorm watch until the early morning hours. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings there. Areas mainly northwest of Bismarck. There's a little tiny severe thunderstorm warning there west of Topeka. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for central and southern Iowa. No warnings in effect in that area, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning out in West Texas there to the north of Midland. Swinging over toward Alabama, showers and thunderstorms still active tonight over eastern portions of the state. If we switch over to our regional radar, actually switch over to the Maxwell Air Force Base radar, we see showers and thunderstorms now. We've got one breaking out there in eastern St. Clair County, another sitting on the Calhoun and Clay County line along or just west of Alabama 9, there south of Oxford and Heflin. Got another heavy shower sitting over US 431 there near Wedowie. And you run into rain all the way down 431 to get into Chambers County, Lynette. There is a thunderstorm sitting on the Georgia-Alabama border there near and to the east of a valley. Now, all this activity's been going downhill pretty quickly, which is, pretty good news. And that's sort of what we expect. According to the convective allowing models. Going back into the afternoon, though, showers and thunderstorms developed Saturday afternoon over Clay County, and then they began putting out a pretty impressive outflow boundary. More showers and thunderstorms bubbled up as high temperatures warmed into the upper 90s. It was 97 at Tuscaloosa, 99 at Demopolis, or 97 at Demopolis, 97 at Birmingham. Which was just 1 degree shy of the record for June the 15th at the Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport, 99 at the Weather Service at Shelby County Airport down in Calera. But as we went through time, and let's go back and shoot back about 100 frames here, and that'll carry us into the early afternoon. You see those showers and storms develop. A lot of showers and thunderstorms developed in Tuscaloosa County. Then they began to fire in western Jefferson County. Good bit of the Birmingham metro area got some pretty heavy rain. I got just a third of an inch here on the 459 corridor near Acton Road. But our friends out in places like Fairfield and Brighton, areas, western Jefferson County, picked up 1.5 to 2 inches. It was a flood advisory for a short period of time. Lots of lightning, lots of thunder. You can see the activity that had developed in west central Georgia tonight and moved into Alabama. But if we switch over to the convection allowing models, take a peek at what we would expect out of the thunderstorms there in west or east central Alabama, they're going to fall apart as we go through the next few hours, and by 5 to 7 a.m. We'll be calm across all of Alabama. This 03Z run, which is the 10 p.m. run of the HRRR, shows convective initiation occurring perhaps first over northeast Alabama, west central Alabama. This is not exactly where storms are going to form, as you well know, but a couple of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will begin to form as high temperatures rise well into the middle and upper 90s across the area. I don't think we'll see any 100-degree readings tomorrow, but it's not out of the question. This is for 4 p.m., showing widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. They're fairly isolated in nature, but if you do get under one, again, the showers and thunderstorms could potentially be a big problem. This is the HRRR as well, coming off of our friends at Weather Bell, showing really just almost minute coverage, 20-25% probably at best. It does hint that the best activity will be in and south of the US 80 corridor across south central Alabama, from Auburn to Montgomery to Demopolis. We'll kind of see how that goes. These are high temperatures off the national blend of models today, expecting middle 90s in the Tennessee Valley. 97 to 98 degrees will be, for the most part. Mobile gets off pretty easily with 89, 88 at Gulf Shores as the sea breeze and some clouds and moisture move into that area. Let's set the stage with the GFS. Going to look at the 500 millibar level, about 18,000 feet, showing the patterns that dictate a lot of our weather. Big 591 decameter high in the middle atmosphere, centered there over upstate South Carolina, probably somewhere near Greenville. That's going to be dictating our weather for the next few days. Lower pressures over the southwestern Gulf, Central American Gyre, there, big, large-scale pattern that can spin up tropical activity. And that happens from time to time. I think with a favorable upper-level anticyclone over the Gulf of Mexico, that's a possibility as we get into this week. That ridge is holding strong there over the mid-Atlantic, but the GFS does hint that we could see a disturbance perhaps develop, perhaps a tropical depression, perhaps not. I know the Hurricane Center has fairly decent probability of that for the Gulf to develop into something. This kind of new fly in the ointment is this system east of the Bahamas. It makes a beeline for the southeastern coast. The GFS brings it in somewhere near St. Augustine, Florida on Thursday, and zips it across into Alabama. Could be interesting. We'll watch it. The European sees that same ridge, of course, that's there, sees the lower pressures over the Bay of Campeche, the southwestern Gulf, and it also picks up on that system, brings it a little further to the south through the Bahamas and into southern Florida, then into the Gulf of Mexico, moving it across toward Louisiana. That's all great and good, two deterministic models, but both picking up sort of on the same features. So it's got our attention. Anticyclone over the central Gulf here by Tuesday, up at about 250 millibars, up there about 35,000 feet, and that can be conducive to the development of tropical systems at the surface. The GFS is our model of choice for this Sunday morning video, using the 18Z run from Saturday afternoon, because we have all of it in as I record this about 15 till 12 on Saturday night. Good bit of moisture all over the Gulf of Mexico, as you see there. Plentiful moisture. The Gulf is extremely warm, as we've talked about ad nauseum through this whole spring, but lots of water vapor down there, and we will watch to see if it can come together. Perhaps a low pressure system there by Monday night into Tuesday, deepening as it moves to the northwest. 998 millibars, not exceptionally strong, but it looks like hard to say what's going to form, but something could move into the northeast Mexican coast there Wednesday night. Now, our attention will turn to the east to perhaps this low pressure system associated with that upper low that we saw developing on the GFS. And that charges on shore there near St. Augustine early Thursday morning, bringing a bit of rain, some wind to the Florida coast and perhaps extreme southeastern Georgia. This system makes a beeline across into southern Alabama Thursday night, but as you can see, probably only mainly a very narrow band of moderate rain. Now, kind of going back in time here, kind of look at what our rain chances are for Monday. We look pretty dry. The ridge looks like it's got itself arranged so that we dry out. Dry out, if you can call that anything, from a 20% coverage of showers and storms today. But looks like Monday's dry, Tuesday's dry, and that's great news because we have a big event at Rickwood Field Tuesday night. The Birmingham Barons will play Montgomery in a throwback game like they used to do through 2019. It's good to see that back again, honoring our Negro minor leagues from those, from history. And an even bigger event coming Thursday. I'm sure you've heard. The San Francisco Giants will play the St. Louis Cardinals in a regular season game. I don't know that we've ever had a regular season game, minor league or major league teams at Rickwood, but this will be honoring the Negro Leagues and their contributions to baseball, including here in Birmingham. But it's going to be a spectacular event. A lot of money's been spent on Rickwood to bring the playing field, the dugouts, those parts up of that venerable, wonderful stadium, the oldest ballpark in America, up to speed and up to standards for Major League Baseball. I was there early April 1975. The Atlanta Braves played the Baltimore Orioles in an exhibition game at Rickwood right before the season started. And for a 13-year-old kid, that was just, an over-the-moon event. And to be able to be there Thursday night will be another over-the-moon event for me. It looks like it'll be dry, and we're happy about that. It'll be warm, that's for sure, but it should be a beautiful night for baseball, both Tuesday night and Thursday night, as big-time baseball comes to Rickwood Field once again. So we talked about the system coming on across maybe the southern half of Alabama, enhances some tropical convective activity, late Friday afternoon into Friday night. Saturday, a few showers still around. Watching a potential third system moving toward the central Mexican coast there by Sunday night and Monday. So we could have, 2 or 3 tropical cyclones, either depressions or perhaps even a couple of tropical storms before this week's over. The big impact for the Alabama Gulf Coast, northwest Florida, the beautiful beaches there, will be, high rain chances, slightly cooler conditions than we've been experiencing, but the big effect is going to be a high rip current risk. Surf heights are going to be running 3 to 5, perhaps as high as 4 to 6 feet, and that always sounds inviting, but is very, very dangerous. You do not want to be in the Gulf. I think we'll see double red flags. As an upper level trough, I don't know if you noticed it on those upper patterns, swings into the Great Lakes in the northeast. As we get into the week 2 period, looks like showers and thunderstorms are going to be fairly plentiful across Alabama there by Monday the 24th and Tuesday the 25th. Got a convergence of a front coming from the north, tropical moisture from the south, probably turned back to the northeast by that trough, and this could mean some decent rainfall for Alabama. We're not going to complain. The European is kind of in on all these same ideas. Takes that second system a little further to the south and doesn't develop it quite as strongly. If it brings into the New Orleans area there by next Friday night, that could increase shower and thunderstorm chances along the Gulf Coast. And as we go out toward the end of the period on that, you can see still widespread. Now, I had to get out the road atlas to kind of look at the geography of western Montana tonight, because this really caught my eye. The GFS predicting 10 to 12 inches of snow. Some places like Missoula, Stevensville, over to Drummond. Just beautiful territory here, southwestern Montana, back over into east central Idaho. And the National Weather Service in Missoula is really hitting this hard. The threat for hypothermia. Heavy snow that could bring down a lot of fully leafed out tree branches. It's not unprecedented. It sounds unusual, but Butte, Montana, Bozeman, Montana had a 6-inch snow back in 2001 in June, and looking at the records, it snowed like 11 times in early to mid-June at Butte. Since 1893. So you see that's a period of about 130 years. So, not that unusual, but certainly very, very interesting. SPC, Severe Weather Outlooks. This was the Saturday day 1. Here's your day 2. For Sunday, we'll have a new day 1 very shortly. But the SPC is watching areas across the northern plains and upper Midwest, mainly for a wind threat for your Sunday as we go toward day 3. That same area pretty much is going to be affected. And as you get into the more extended period, the SPC does have a day 4 15% risk for northeastern Minnesota. So that's going to bear some watching. Now, we talked about lots of rain over Alabama, southeast, especially the mid-Texas, upper Texas coast. As a matter of fact, I'll swing over to the south central look here. Look at some of those amounts. On the middle Texas coast, 15 inches of rain through next Sunday night. But, some of those amounts over places like southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, maybe even to Mobile and Baldwin counties in Alabama can be quite extensive. We'll watch that very closely. Most everybody, the GFS is convinced, is going to get, 3.5 to 5 inches of rain. So that's not bad. We'll take it. No, this is not through next Sunday. This is actually through the 1st of July. Let's move it back in time since I can get that kind of right. Into next weekend, the rainfall amounts are fairly light for us, but southern Louisiana, Texas, they're going to be the winners. Most of that rain is going to fall in that week 2 period, and we'll have to see if that really happens. So this is the tropical weather outlook from the Hurricane Center. This is the 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time report from Saturday evening. About a 60% chance, medium chance, of a tropical cyclone forming in the southwestern Gulf through the 7-day period. In fact, there could be 2, but they're going to stay down there, I think, and won't affect the Alabama Gulf Coast, the northwest Florida Gulf Coast, except for those rip currents. And they've got a 20% chance, low chance, there, that area of low pressure that could move toward the Bahamas. This is temperatures off the national blend of models over the next 10-11 days at Birmingham. Our warmest day probably today, 97 calling for, a couple degrees short of the record. But then looks like we'll just settle into a hot temperature forecast through the period with mainly dry conditions Monday through Thursday. Rain chances picking up a little bit, showing those high temperatures dropping back a little bit toward the end of the period, into the week 2 time frame, middle 70s for overnight lows. That is kind of a little warm for this time of June, but not unprecedented, obviously, and not that unusual. Weather brings the weekly netcast that's all about weather. We had a great time. 3 of our colleagues were at the Warnings and Broadcast Conference, AMS, the American Meteorological Society. They were in Myrtle Beach, and they visited with some interesting folks. I learned a lot about space weather, and of course that's been in the news here over the last 60 days or so, and with an active solar pattern coming up for the foreseeable future, it could be back in the spotlight again. We recorded that show Thursday night. It'll drop Monday night. Play on the .2 channels and the James Spann Weather channels, and it'll hit YouTube and also be available in all the other places where you get your podcasts. That's Weather Brains, the 18-year-old podcast, the oldest running podcast about weather. Well, that's your weather video, a pretty long one, lots to talk about on this Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, dads out there, to all of you. Hope you have a great day today. I'll have notes on the blog. I'll be watching the radar this afternoon, and we'll all be watching the Stallions. They'll be in St. Louis going for their third straight spring football championship. Fingers crossed they come out victorious there in St. Louis today. And, of course, if there are any warnings or any advisories that come out, you'll hear about them first here on the AlabamaWX weather blog. James will be on vacation, so he'll be up running around in Canada this week. He's up in Boston watching the Red Sox play again tonight. And then he'll be heading up to Western Canada. So hopefully he has a great time and good weather while he's up here. Scott and I will be taking care of the blog and the videos and all those things all week. So I'll be looking forward to that. Hear me on the radio, Birmingham, the Summit stations, and Tuscaloosa on the Town Square stations. And we'll hope he has a great time and see him back on Monday the 24th. Well, until I get to see you next time right here on this channel, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky because you'll always have something fun to look at.